Hi, welcome back to my channel. I don't know if you've noticed, I've renamed the channel. My son, who is really into animation, has made a new cover for me, and we also worked on the intro. I'm still working on it, it still needs a bit of tweaking, but yeah, I'm happy with it so far. Today I'm going to be talking about a women's lit book. I hate that phrase, but I don't know how else to describe it. I'm not going to call it chick lit. But I didn't come by this book a traditional way, which is like, you know, you go into the bookstore or you go down like the Kindle list or anything like that. So a little bit of backstory. I'm in a few writing groups, like Nano and stuff like that, and local ones as well. And one of my friends who I've made through that, she writes for I don't know if it's a publishing house or if it's an agency, but she her books go through this company called booktube, which actually you should check it out, it's amazing. And what I like about what Emma writes and what I've read so far from other booktube people in that genre, it's kind of true to life, and there's not like, there are some fantastic writers out there who do those like scenes where it's like they try and make funny things happen, but it's really not conducive to the storyline, and you don't get that in booktube books. They're very relatable, they're very current, but without being dated, so I really like that. And when I was scrolling through their Facebook page, I came across this book, Just Saying, by Sophie Reynard. I'm going to say her name wrong, I'm so sorry. I know how horrible that is when people do that, but I'm really sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But this book is awesome, obviously, because I wouldn't be reviewed if it wasn't. But I think the title is a little bit misleading, Just Saying. And also the byline, I don't know if you can see it, it says, who needs a boyfriend when you have a bottle of wine? Which makes it sound like the main character is a singleton, and you know, she's more than happy to be at home alone and have like a bottle of wine in the evening after work and stuff like that. And that is not how this story plays out at all. But saying that, I don't think you should judge this book by its cover, even though the cover is awesome. I love the picture, I love the colouring, I love all of that. So this book is about a woman called Alice. She has been training to be a lawyer, and she's been temping, like an internship, I guess, at this really prestigious law firm, and she has been guaranteed a job afterwards. Like, she was the first one in her class to get guaranteed a job, so like that's pretty awesome, right? And she has a partner she loves very much. He's called Joe. They've been together about 2 years. They live together. He's very sweet. The first time he met her, he bought her shoes. Like, that's an instant win to me. I love shoes. He finally gets a job and they start to celebrate, but the day after, I think it is, she goes into work and she's called straight to HR, and everyone in the office seems to know what's going on, but she doesn't. So her boss has been suspended because of sexual harassment, and they're doing an investigation, and because her boss won't be there, there is no job for her to go on to. So she could finish her training and go on to another law firm, but she's feeling like her feelings for this situation are very complex, and she's very much like, I don't even know if I want to be here anymore. So she goes home, she explains it to her boyfriend. He's very supportive. She kind of ends up working at this local bar. I say bar, pub, very English pub. Like, the description of it is amazing. Like, you can almost smell the wood that makes up most of the furniture and the wall paneling and stuff like that. It's very dated. There's a picture of Princess Diana still up. So, yeah, like, if you're British, I think you can imagine the kind of pub I'm talking about. And she finds herself really falling in love with this role. She almost takes over as bar manager. Within like a week or something. The person who is bar manager, she's having a lot of health issues, her partner is having a lot of health issues, so like she's basically just stepped into this role that she's never done before, and she kind of finds happiness in it. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in that position where you find something just by accident and you absolutely adore it. Like, I only learnt to drive because I felt like there was a responsibility for me to drive. And the first time I got into a car and I went, it was scary, but oh my God, I loved it so much. Anyway, so meanwhile, because she's out of this lawyer's job, she can't afford to pay for her half of the rent for their apartment. She was guaranteed like a really good paycheck by the time that they finished their internship. So he's going to get that, but she's not, and she feels like, you know, she's got to contribute, and like the bar money can only go so far. So they agreed that they'd have a lodger, and this is where the issue comes in, because the lodger ends up being his ex from university. She seems like a very sweet girl. She's very into her veganism. She's very into animal rights and people's rights and stuff like that. So like instantly relatable for someone my age. It takes a little while, but Alice starts to feel like this girl is kind of trying to move back in on Joe, and that kind of causes a friction between her and Joe, because he's like, don't you trust me? And I've not been in a relationship for a long time, but I do think you should trust your partner, but also you shouldn't put yourself in a position where that would be an issue, and living with an ex is definitely going to be one of those situations. But as the story progresses as well, we find out more and more about Alice's interaction with her old boss, and whether or not there was any truth to the situation, and how she had been exposed to that situation, and actually how that developed into her relationship with Joe, and actually like the trajectory of it. Like you can see why there's trust issues for her, because he was like the knight in shining armor, sweeping her off her feet after a very like problematic evening that she had with her boss. So there's a lot of stuff like the Me Too movement comes into play, but it's not like, oh, have you heard what's going on right now? It's like, hey, you remember like back when that stuff was happening? Like, this is relevant to that too. You should speak out more because of what happened to you, what's happening with your boss right now, all that sort of stuff. So it's relevant without being like on the moment, and that stops it from being dated, I think. Sorry, I heard my family moving about. Like, I still live with my parents because of health issues, and it's a very busy house, and it's very hard to tape when you can hear people in the background. So apologies if this is like really broken up. And I keep losing my train of thought because I keep hearing people walking about and talking, and they're probably like, what is Siobhan doing? So the conclusion is, you know, the ex-girlfriend did feel that way about the boyfriend, but Joe has definitely moved on, and he's like, thanks, I'm flattered, but no, Alice is it for me. And Alice is like very open, and like there's a scene right at the end. I think it's the last official chapter, so it's just before the epilogue, so the penultimate thing you read. She's confessing to him all the things that happened to her, and like it's such a touching moment. I ended up crying. And the conclusion, you see this guy in another pub, the boss in another pub, and he's drinking his sorrows away, and they're still in touch with the ex-girlfriend. They've managed to make a new friendship for it. So I think it's good in that terms, like, because sometimes it's really problematic when you have two females and they're arguing over a male. Like, that wouldn't pass the Bechdel test. But yeah, seeing them like develop a friendship because of that, I think that's really positive. Like, yeah, bad things happened, but something good came out of it. And I think that's the whole trajectory of the story as well. Like, you have to go through your grief, and you have to go through your stages, and you have to do it in your own time and your own way. And then you'll get to a place where you can not be better, but develop every single day and improve and slowly learn to make that just part of your past. I think one way or another that's relatable for everyone. So yeah, that's why I totally recommend this story. And yeah, let me know what kind of stories you're into. Let me know what genres you like. Give me some recommendations. I've been given some recommendations for Agatha Christie, which I've never read before. I've just finished Midnight Sun. I will be reviewing that at some point, so I need something. I've got a big to be read pile right next to me, like I can touch it from here and it's on the floor. So yeah, any recommendations I will take on board, because I think books kind of become personal to you as well. And you know, if you're saying like, I really like this book, there's elements of that book that resonate with the person you are. So if you're giving that recommendation to someone, you're basically saying, here's a little bit of my soul. I think that's the same with music as well. Yeah, so I think that's it for this video. I hope I've said a lot less this time. Clearly not. Please like and subscribe if you liked it. Please comment anything, any thoughts you have below. Mega thanks to my son again for the title and the logo. Also, I'm gonna say thank you to Little Sparkles Boutique, who I got this hair bow from. I'm a little bit obsessed with hair bows. So everything I buy from Etsy that like I put in my hair and then put on this video, I will link as well, but I will also shout out because I think you should support small businesses. And this is really cute, and it's just the right size for like what I like, and I've probably put it in a really weird position because I was just trying to get my fringe out my face, but yeah, totally recommend. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.